Yay, Kanye West. We're going to talk about the new interview that he did, Ty Dolla $ign and Kanye did with Big Boy. And I want to talk about a few things, a lot of key moments that I really was intrigued by in the interview. And, you know, I've taken, to be honest with you, I've taken a great liking to Kanye West, which is surprising to me because I've never really been a huge Kanye West fan. I never really cared to pay attention to him, I guess. But over these past couple of years, which is very odd, right? You would think after all the stuff he's been saying and all the antics and stuff, you would think I'd be even more away from him. But I just enjoy the way he thinks sometimes. Some of the things he's not saying I agree with everything he says. I never agree with anybody 100%, and neither should you. Never agree 100% with what somebody says or thinks. That's not the right thing to do. Now, could you agree with somebody with a lot of things they say? Yeah, but 100% never. So there's a lot of things I disagree with, and even in this interview, there's some things that he said that I disagree with, but I think Kanye is he feels free, like he's just his own person, and I like the approach of, hey, I'm going to do it on my own, and if I get killed doing it, it doesn't matter. I could care less. That could be a reality, which is crazy to say, but, you know, it's possible. So over this interview, I want to talk about some of the points that I really liked. You know, Kanye he said in the interview that he wanted to remove curse words from the Vultures album, but Ty Dolla $ign stopped him. One of the things that really intrigued me and kind of showed me where Kanye is at mentally and how his mother's death still affects him to this day. I think his mother dying really, really changed him. It transformed him, whether for the good or better. For the better or worse, not for the good or better, but for the better or worse, it transformed him. And he says in the interview that he was asking his daughter, North, about, you know, what does she feel about a certain song? And he's like, I ask her these things because sometimes I feel like my mother's speaking through her, which is just shows that like he still misses his mom regardless of, you know, everything that's going on. And then there's one part that immediately got people's attention. And Kanye said that he was responsible for influencing Travis Scott, Drake, The Weeknd, and also adds Young Thug and Future to that because of the auto-tune and because of 808s and Heartbreaks. And I know I was going to have a debate with you guys about the 808s and Heartbreaks and, you know, how influential of an album it is. But first, let me play the clip for you guys, and then I'm going to add on more about what Kanye's saying.
I'm the new Steve. I'm not going to meet with Tim Cook. You was employed to Steve. I'm Steve. So, and of this music game, I am, but not under Lucian. You're saying I invented every style of music of the past 20 years. I created the genre. I created weekend genre, Trav, Drake. You know, I'm going ahead and say, with all love, Future and Thug also, because the auto-tune album. 808s, if you think about it, no one think about it. Everybody think about Trav, Weeknd, and Drake, but no one thinks about Future and Thug also, the auto-tune album. Now, everyone, they added what it was to it, but here's a new genre. It's called Making Your Own Money genre.
So this obviously rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Ebro from Hot 97 even said this is bullshit, you're capping, like you're not the one to do influence all this stuff. But Ebro is getting it wrong with some of the stuff he's saying as well. And Kanye kind of overextended himself on the people he says he's influenced. I do like this new genre where he says making your own money, or what does he say? Making your own.
It's called Making Your Own Money.
Yeah, making your own money. And what he means by that is independent. That's the part of the interview that people kind of just go past, because I don't know if it was after this part he says this or before, but he says, hey, if me going this independent route is going to get me killed, then so be it, because I've gotten death threats like crazy. I'm going independent. I'm not relying on a middleman, a record label, nothing. I'm just going to do what I do and release music independently. And people are not going to like that. There's going to be higher ups, people with power that are not going to like that. That I'm taking full control of my music. And here, whether you like Kanye or not, you got to respect that, because that's the route that I've been saying artists should go more. Especially the Drakes, the Kanyes. Set the example. Say, fuck the middleman. Go independent and bring in millions, and you can profit way more money. This is why Kanye is trying to sell the album directly on his website for $20, because it's straight direct to consumer. That if he pull what he's doing, he's pulling it off basically. The streaming, if he doesn't rely on streaming, let's just say he drops the Vultures 2, right? Directly on Yeezy, and he does 300,000 first week, $20 a pop. I don't know what the math on that is, whatever it is. But imagine how much that's going to get people to do the same thing. I know not everybody's going to be able to because Kanye is Kanye, and not everybody is Kanye at that level, but it's going to inspire people to go more independent. If Drake did that, you know, Drake even says in the interview, he mentions Drake, like, Drake could own a lot more. Drake could be a multi-billionaire if he just said, listen, Universal, I'm not doing the next deal with you. Unfortunately, he signed, I don't know what kind of deal he signed, but it's Universal gave him a lot of money. But regardless, Drake could make more by himself. And does he really need Universal? Is Universal really the label that's pushing him and getting him out there? No, guys. Like, Drake could drop an album right now independently. Everybody go check it out. That's just the reality situation. So I like that portion. Now let's get back to, you know, him influencing. Well, who are the names you mentioned? Travis Scott. I agree with Travis Scott. Even Travis Scott used a lot of portions of Yeezus from 2013 that he dropped. So Travis Scott, I agree with. There's really nobody really debating Travis Scott. Drake did say he's been inspired by Kanye, but he's also been inspired by a lot of different artists as well. He's been inspired by 50 Cent. He said 21 Questions, to see a gangster rap, 21 Questions like that and do it like that was really dope. I got inspired by that. He's mentioned a lot of artists he's been inspired by. So Drake, yeah, you could say Drake a little bit too. The Weeknd, I don't know. The Weeknd I'm a little iffy on because to me, I just don't really see that. And as far as Young Thug and Future, I don't know about that either. He is saying the auto-tune, making it cool. But we got to remember the person that brought it back and made it really, really cool was T-Pain. Let's not get that twisted. T-Pain with Epiphany or Epiphany, or how the fuck do you call that album title, his first album? Epiphany, I think it's called. And with that album, that brought back auto-tune. Oh, it wasn't, my bad. That was the second album. That was the one with Bartender and stuff. My bad. I totally apologize. It's Rappa Turnt Sanga. That album had auto-tune on it. And yeah, it wasn't the most successful album of all time. It did have hits on it, though. It had I'm in Love with a Stripper. She Ride, She Rode. Love that song. I'm about to go listen to this music back again. And I'm Sprung. She got me. But it wasn't like that, T-Pain at the time really wasn't like big when he dropped this album. Kanye did it at a point in his life where, like I mentioned in my previous podcast, Kanye did it at a point where all eyes were on him and what is he going to do next? He just beat out 50, who was the biggest selling hip-hop artist, period, at the time. 50 was number one. Kanye just beat him with Graduation, and now all eyes are on him. Plus, he lost his mom, broke up with his fiance. All eyes are on him. What is he going to do next? And he decides to do an auto-tune type of album with the 808s in it. That definitely changed it. But that had, even Kanye mentioned, a lot of that I got from T-Pain. And then Kid Cudi responded to a lot of this stuff and said he got a lot of ideas from 808s from me too. So it's not just Kanye himself, you could say that. But at the end of the day, if Kanye decided to never release 808s and jump outside the box, because we got to remember, when 808s came out, Kanye, even I at the time, was heavily criticizing him. I was like, what is this garbage? I don't want to hear love lockdown, love like. I was like, what is going on? This is not, I'm like, I could care less about this stuff. But as the years went on, I realized, I was pretty wrong. 808s is a pretty good album. But that's the point, is that Kanye stepped outside of the box when all eyes were on him, and everybody was like, okay, wow, we might not like it right now, but it's slowly started swaying, because what we have to remember as well in this time is Jay-Z was shitting on autotune. Death of autotune. Jay-Z was saying this is garbage. Most artists were like, why the fuck is everybody using autotune? It is garbage, right? T-Pain using it was like the only one that was like tolerated, but more people started using it and people were like, this is garbage. So Jay-Z was trying to get it shut down, but Kanye said, nah, I'm pushing this shit back up and making it cool to do it. So overall, Kanye is kind of right in influence. He did influence a lot of artists. I don't know about those specific names. I can give Travis Scott. I can give Drake. I don't know about Weeknd, Young Thug, and Future. Now, with the 808 sound, yes. In terms of producers, he completely changed the sound of hip-hop with the 808 stuff, because nobody was using the 808 stuff. And that's where Ebro got things wrong, because Ebro from Hot 97, let me see if I can find his Instagram. He posted on his Instagram. On his Instagram, he said this. Soul Samples was Blink the Humble Monster first. Auto-Tune was T-Pain, Talkbox Roger Troutman, and even Teddy Riley. Emo love rap songs was PM Dawn, LL Cool J Common. Who else? Yeah, he did great things, but this is complete bullshit. Now, I get what he's saying. There were people that used things before Kanye, right? That used them before and different styles before. But did they all mix it into one and release it as a project and have the world criticize them, and then eventually people started to take that type of sound? No. So Ebro is missing the whole point of that. Because everybody did it. There was auto-tune before T-Pain. There was auto-tune. There was a depression and emo rap talk before all these artists. There used to be those type of artists. There used to be people that would do these type of things. There's nothing on this planet at this point is new. Everybody's just regurgitating things as the years go on. We're going to forget about some things as the years go on. People are going to pass away and die, and then eventually somebody's going to take it, recycle into the system. That's all we are as humans at the end of the day. Right now, we really aren't inventing new. There is some things here and there, but it's a rare occurrence because we've lived on this planet Earth for a long ass time now. Now with AI and technology, yes, there's going to be new things coming out, but we're just talking musically. It's very hard to invent something brand spanking new. Is there going to be a style? Yes, you're going to be taken from different things, but that's the point of it, is you to take from a bunch of people, combine it into one, and deliver something that's like a whole different thing. So when Ebro's saying that, I disagree with that. But one thing that was really interesting, and I hope this is not true, one thing that was really interesting is Johnny Shipes, who signed Nipsey Hussle back in 2009 for a label deal. It just ended up not going right. Commented on Ebro's post and revealed something about Nipsey's verse on the Vultures album. And I hope this is not true. If this is true, Kanye, I really lost a lot of respect for you, because this is the parts where I don't agree with Kanye. This is the parts where I hate about Kanye. And I'm using hate because he even says something more about religion down the line that I don't like. So first, this is what Johnny Shipes commented on Ebro's post. He says, he complains about everyone doing him dirty. He used Nipsey's vocals on his new album and didn't clear with his estate or work out a deal. Nipsey has kids to feed. Dude doesn't care about anyone but himself. 100 emoji, good talk. Now that's going to be fucked up if that's true. If Johnny Shipes is telling the truth on that, which I'm sure he knows, because a lot of the Nipsey vocals and stuff, he has a lot to do with it too. Because earlier on, he did sign Nipsey, like I said. So if he took those vocals, didn't clear it with Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, that's going to be some problems. But I mean, wouldn't they have some issues and actually remove the song off the stream platforms? So I don't know about that, but I'm just I took that Nipsey feature a lot different when he said that. So continuing on from the interview, that rubbed people the wrong way. He talks about his relationship with Jesus, right? And he says he has issues with Jesus because he's like, I prayed and he didn't show up. I'm not going to get super religious, but I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about this.
At one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not fuck it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is Vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, people, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground, them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray. So that's where, that's what my issue is, and look at where I'm at today.
So without getting too much into religion, because, you know, everybody has their own viewpoints and what they believe and what they don't believe. The way I view it, me, I'm Muslim. You know, I'm practicing Ramadan right now, so it's kind of interesting. I'm actually reading the Quran right now, so interesting that, you know, this kind of topic came up, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. We believe in Allah, and Allah is God. Jesus is a disciple of God. You're praying for something from Jesus, God, whatever you want to call it. And you're wanting something in this life. How do you demand something in this life when you know that you're supposed to serve in this life, humble and gratitude towards God, and in the afterlife you'll be rewarded? It's not about this life, because this life isn't perfect. It's the afterlife that's perfect, right? That's the message in pretty much every religion, is that you become humble, you become servant to God, and in the afterlife, your life will become perfect. So right now, Kanye is wanting Jesus to answer his prayers right now, here, and everything to be perfect here. And I know it's frustrating, right? You're like, why am I believing in this entity or thing, and I don't even know if it's real, and it's not getting my prayers answered? But that's the whole point of it. You got to be humble. You got to serve, regardless of what you think is being answered or not. Jesus might be answering all your prayers in a different way. You know, you could be driving in a car and not get in an accident. You might miss an accident from 5 seconds of driving this way. You know, there's literally, we go out every single day, and there could be incidents where we get saved from certain things that we don't even realize. Don't we think that's something, some type of spiritual high power? But whatever you believe in, I know some people believe in God, some people don't. Some people, you know, don't really have much of an opinion on it. I'm not too opinionated on it. But I think this is you know, I don't want to say this because I don't know Kanye's mom, but I think Kanye's mom wouldn't approve of this type of talk. Even though I have for me to say that would be, but his mom was very religious and instilled a lot of religion in him. This is something that you know, he shouldn't be saying, because you release the album Jesus is King, you love him, all that, and then, you know, because some prayers don't get answered, dude, you're a multi-millionaire. I know you got a lot of problems in your life, but at the end of the day, there are people literally starving, getting killed, lots of things happening right now in the world. And that's type of stuff. I know everybody has their own problems and stuff in life, so, you know, at different levels, it you know, affects people differently. But I disagree with this portion. I disagree with the portion of, you know, what we talked about earlier about the Nipsey Hussle thing. If he actually did that, I disagree with that part. And then, you know, I really am inspired because after I watched the interview, I tweeted, I was like, this new Kanye interview really inspired me. I'm inspired about the fact that Kanye wants to go independent and do his thing, and the way he talks about how, you know, aggressive he is at doing that. And he's like, if I get killed doing it, it doesn't even matter. So that was really, really inspiring to me. And I think Kanye can get things under control and get him, like, Kanye just needs something down packed down the middle to get things done. With Ty Dolla $ign coming with him, here's the thing with Ty Dolla $ign too. I've never been a fan of Ty Dolla $ign, but I'm actually enjoying what he's doing on this album, which is like very hard for me to accept, because I'm not even a fan of Ty Dolla $ign. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the interview. That's kind of my thoughts on it, and I just wanted to talk about it because it was interesting topics, and Kanye hasn't done an interview in at least in a minute, and I just wanted to hear about this album and see where his thoughts were at with it. I also wanted to add on, I was about to say continuing on, but I also want to add on Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi talked about what Kanye said about the 808s. And Kid Cudi responded and basically posted a Wikipedia link and said Kid Cudi's sound is what inspired and led Kanye West to create his cathartic 808s and Heartbreak, with West later stating that he and Cudi were the originators of the style, kind of like Alexander McQueen is the fashion. Everything else is just Zara and H&M. West also complimented Cudi by saying his writing is just so pure, natural, and important. So, yeah, Cudi just saying, hey, with all this stuff, it's I had a lot big thing to do with it too, which is cool, man. That's obviously fire. Boosie jumped in on this Kanye West thing, and Boosie just, I don't know, man. Boosie just be talking about anything, man. He just jumped in on this. So the same thing he said about Eminem, he basically said about Kanye, and he said this. He posted the clip of Kanye, the quote saying where Kanye, I invented every genre. He said, I invented every style of music, which in the past 20 years, which I disagree with Kanye as well. But this is what Boosie had to say on Instagram. He said, not all genres, not every style, not Boosie music. You can't relate to nothing I rap about. Art. What is he writing? You can't relate to nothing I rap about your music. Nobody listens to Kanye in the projects or in the trenches. I'm going ahead and say it. My people do not relate to Bro, nobody, Boosie, man, he don't give a fuck. All he cares about the trenches and who listens in the trenches, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's funny, man. That is hilarious. But I just wanted to talk about that quick and just mention it because Boosie just be saying some random shit, man. Be making no damn sense sometimes, but Boosie, shout out to Boosie, man, killing them Vlad TV interviews. That's what he's known for a lot right now, which, hey, it's working for him, so why not?